All right, guys, welcome to episode 6 of the Talk Before You Run podcast. I mean, it's the same people as always, so I don't need to go through and I'm gonna do it because Beaker's got that beautiful smile on his face. Beaker below me. Switch to the right of your screen. Fevno to the left of your screen. Um, our topics are a little bit of everywheres this week. Just a wee bit. Um, but we're gonna jump right into this, and I'm ready to jump into this because what is it? In 3 days, 4 days, Super Bowl
Mm, Yeah.
on
Kelsey
Sunday
versus
at
So,
five
Kelsey.
thirty. Kelsey versus Kelsey. Um, I want to give each one of these guys a chance to switch their picks up, even though they said they're not going to. I don't want to be the odd man out. Okay, okay. I don't want to be the odd man out. Um,
Well, I
hurts
thought
my
about it,
feelings. Oh, did you?
and I thought about it, but I'm sticking to the Chiefs.
you know,
That's mean.
uh, as a great friend of you, Travis, uh, I really don't care. I'm sticking with the Chiefs.
Like Travis, of course, I got you because, who else is not going to have you, okay? Any other time, but I'm still going with the Chiefs, okay?
Come on, man. I'm telling you, I'm gonna laugh in each one of y'all's faces when Philadelphia
Fine,
goes out there and wolves
but look,
Kansas
but
City.
look, we're still standing on our choices, all right? We're not switching up.
Hey, look, I give it to you. I give it to you. Y'all not switching. Y'all not switching up. Um, we don't have a whole lot as far as injuries go. There's a couple of them that needs to be watched out for. But I do believe, minus these minor injuries, you know, both teams are going out there pretty healthy. The only main one going into Sunday that I'm hoping that he plays is going to be a big shot, and it's going to be to Philadelphia. Is if Lane Johnson can't play. He did play a couple weeks ago in the championship round, but he was coming off of that groin injury, and I don't know maybe if he like re-aggravated or what, but he is questionable to play. Um, and Jair Sneed, the cornerback for Kansas City, I'm pretty sure I just butchered his first name, is also questionable. Um, Outside of those two, there's really no other notable injuries aside from McCole Hardman, but he's on IR and he's been on IR for a few weeks, so I don't think they expected him to come back and play. But it's kind of interesting. And I pulled this up and I was talking to y'all about it. The stats going into this game, both teams being 16-3, both teams having 546 points this year, both being the number one seed in their divisions, both of them having 6 Pro Bowl picks, both of them have one of their Pro Bowl picks, each one of them being their starting quarterback, and both of them have each an All Pro, and it's Travis and Jason Kelsey. Tell me this game isn't scripted. We was also talking about that too. Okay, and it's been circulating around Facebook and TikTok and everything else about the supposed leak of the script of the game, where I do believe it was Philadelphia winning 37-34, right?
Yeah,
I'm just saying, and I mentioned that to these guys. If this score ends up being 37-34 and being like that, supposed leak, um, I don't think I'd be able to watch football again.
me neither.
Um,
Really.
I've spent too many years watching this game, and I myself has placed bets on these games and stuff like that, as many other people have. I think that would just kind of break my heart to find out that it's all been scripted this entire time. Just to, because if they're scripting these games, it's to make them money, and I think that would break my heart. Um, y'all want to talk on the supposed script?
The idea of it being scripted, for me, it's just like, I wasn't big into sports, like where people were betting money and, relying on that. Like, you know, but I do enjoy it as an entertainment thing. I mean, it's not like it's ever been considered fake. I mean, the injuries are real. The everything. I mean, you can't fake. A lot of like look at Pollard's fucking leg. You can't fake something like that. That you saw the snap. I mean, so I mean, I'm sure a majority of it is real. If it is scripted, it's just the outcome of it. I think if it is, it's more of a thing where it's like as long as y'all win, whatever happens out on the field, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or as long as y'all lose, let whatever happen on the field. You
Yeah,
know,
and
uh,
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
And it, because you was talking about the injuries and stuff like that, and you know, WWE is a good example of that. This is a thing
We've
that
heard of that.
everybody knows that the WWE is scripted. Everybody knows that it's for entertainment purposes. But these people really do go out there. They really get hurt, even though the end match is already decided, and even the things that they do within that match are decided. They're not shoot matches. They're choreographed and. Uh,
And even at that, there's still people that get hurt. I mean, seriously injured and hurt. I mean, and it's crazy to think because I mean, it's just all entertainment purpose. And these are people that go out and put their lives on the line to entertain.
mm-hmm.
For the fact that the people when they sign up and the people that watch, they know that getting into WWE is fake. It's or scripted. People don't think that about the NFL.
Yeah,
You
when
know,
when it comes to organized sports, as far as like football, soccer, baseball, basketball, that's just not something. Especially like because it's a sport that a lot of people grow up playing, or have friends that
idolizing.
played and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So just to think that this large organization would be scripting these games and everything down to, like I said, what would be to make money. It's not something that you'd want to think about. Um, Plus, on top of that, I do believe we brought it up last week that there's too many hands that would have to be in it for it to be scripted. But
yeah.
also at the
Switch
same time, with Switch paying off your
refs,
referees with Lunchables.
lunchables.
I'm
Um,
getting a lot of box tops ready for
oh yeah,
Sunday.
for
Oh
Sunday.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
fuck
Watch the score is going to be flipped. It's going to be 37-34 for Kansas City.
That's what
Um,
I'm hoping.
that.
somebody's just somebody's just gonna run out there and flip the pictures on the scoreboard. Um, but no, just I mean, so it's just I can see the argument on both sides of the fence on why it
yeah.
can't be scripted, but then at the same time, I can see how it could be scripted and how it could be beneficial for the NFL or how it could hurt the NFL. So I see both sides of the argument. It's just not something that I would ever thought to be true. And definitely something that would hurt my feelings if it was.
Right. I think if it was scripted, it would have had to have been something was more of a recent thing that happened.
I was
Think
gonna
about
say that would have to be more recent. If it was scripted, that would have been done more recent. You
yeah, I
know?
don't think whenever football first started, I don't think it was scripted at all.
No, I think it was really about competitiveness and the sport. You know,
Right.
it wasn't that these people came. The NFL came together to to script plays and win or make money. But I mean, if you the thing is they're gonna make money regardless. You know,
Right.
But they would
Yeah,
make
uh,
more if they scripted with all
I
the
mean, if
cuts.
they're looking at all the stats, I mean, people that are betting or people that are playing, if they're looking at stats and everything, and it doesn't start to add up. I mean, then people are going to question it. So I mean, of course, during the game, they have to everything has to add up to and that's why I feel like certain plays don't get the calls that they should, and they let them slide. And in some games they allow that to happen a lot more than others,
Yo,
and it's just like
pure conspiracy.
just get the same refs.
yeah.
Of
Well,
course,
I
then
mean,
again,
go ahead, Switch.
I was gonna say, of course, then again, with today's society, you can quite easily come out and say something outlandish and it'll blow up like a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Well, the whole NFL being scripted, that's something that's been around for quite a few years now. That's been
Yeah,
a
it's been pretty
conspiracy
good.
that's been floated around. Um, but going back to what Beaker said, just getting the same refs, that is one of the biggest arguments that a lot of people do have when it comes to the NFL. Outside of everything being scripted, and as far as like the outcomes of games, is the fact that, and I do believe we touched on it last week, that these referees, they're part-time. They only work certain games. They only, depending on where they're at, these certain referees will work. There's only a handful of referees in the NFL that are actually full-time referees. A lot of them are college refs or high school referees that do a one game sign on for the NFL. So it's just
So
I
I
do
want to say
believe. Go ahead.
it kind of reminds me like YouTuber destroying. He gets NFL referee sometimes for his you know for some of his games. He manages to pull NFL referees and his one-on-ones just to make sure all the flags are called.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I've seen the difference between like a college ref and NFL ref, and you couldn't just sit there and point and say, hey, this is a college ref or this is a ref. But when they get out and they're calling plays, oh man, you can kind of tell. You can kind of
Mm-hmm.
what they let slide and what they don't. And so and it kind of goes back to like why can't these refs call the same plays that would have been made on the field, or that are made on this video that are made on the field, not the same. Like, and I get there's different circumstances, but I've seen incidents where they're kind of resemble each other.
Well, I mean, there's
You
been
know,
incidents in like the same game where a referee will call a flag on one player from one team for doing something that he didn't call
for the
3 or 4 plays prior for the other team doing. I mean, and a lot of it has to do with, and I will say this: these referees' jobs, that's probably one of the hardest jobs,
they're it's
on a
stressful. It
football
has to
field.
be. Because if it's not scripted, that shit's a lot of pressure. You got teams, you got people's money riding on these games, you got people like diehard fans that are ready to rush the field at any given moment that, you know, especially on a play that didn't go the way they want.
Yeah, you got to think you refing for say your hometown team or whatever, high school team. They lose, so on and so forth. They move on to the next game. But when it comes to like college and the NFL and stuff like that, if you're in your home state and you're refing this game and you throw a flag that these people that you live with don't think you should have called, and that ends up determining the outcome of this game. I mean, you got to think they get scrutinized for stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, imagine being one of the refs and being outside the stadium and just being out and about, you know? Like, imagine being in the hometown that you just called flag for that cost them a game, and especially in like the playoffs or like the wild card. Oh man, that's a lot of pressure to be behind. You call a play that, and especially the ones that people have like the plays that are that people that don't really watch football, if they can see, call a flag on a play that a ref didn't, it's kind of like, and then you see them call a flag on a play exactly the same, like you said, a couple plays later, and the other team, and it's like, and I get they may miss something. Like I think there was one game where they should have called the flag, but because they didn't call it soon enough,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I think that was that with the 49ers? There was one game I completely remember where if they had done something,
Was that with the play clock?
I don't I
That
just
one.
remember it was yeah.
That one was the Chiefs and
Okay, it was the Chiefs then. I
yeah.
remember it was either the 49ers or the Chiefs. And I think it was like some plays they're not going to catch right away, you
Right.
know? Some plays, and I guess that's what having multiple refs. But I mean, if multiple refs didn't catch the same like that one play, and neither did the team, they just got away with,
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's
So and
there's
then
definitely a lot of things that uh players get away
go,
with on the field.
yeah,
That's like if a referee really wanted to, he can call holding on every single play.
Yeah.
Every single play, because every offensive lineman, and me being, somebody who played an offensive lineman in high school, um, there's holding on every play. Every offensive lineman holds every single time. But the question is how blatant you are about it. There's always some kind of pass interference. There's always some kind of unnecessary roughness. It just depends on how blatant you are and pretty much the times that you do it.
as long as you're not body slamming somebody
Yeah, don't
or
grab somebody by the back of their
or hip
shoulder pads
tossing
and
them.
throwing them to the ground and hip tossing them and shit, because they will throw you out of the game for that.
Yeah.
Trent Williams learned that one. I do believe it was Trent Williams.
They
Um,
was ready that game.
they actually, I just seen yesterday, or day before, finally came up with what his punishment's going to be for that. I didn't read.
Really?
Yeah, I just seen the article pass across my screen, but I was too busy. I didn't get the chance to actually read it. Um, but no, it's. I mean, if the referees really wanted to, something could be called on every single play. So, I mean, the fact that they may miss a call or they may, have a no call, it's it is what it is. But at the same time, like what we had talked about last week, it also wouldn't be hard for somebody to get in one of these refs' pockets that aren't a full time NFL referee.
Yeah.
Some kind of persuasion to, maybe try to throw a couple flags that can give a little bit of a determining factor to the outcome of the game. So that's why I do believe, the NFL should start employing full time refs for the entirety of the season.
Yeah, and, I mean, because it does, they play a big role. I mean, in what team lead or goes. Yeah, the team itself plays its own role, but like what team goes to the next round. I mean, they just we've seen it in the wild cards. I mean, though there was a lot of plays that shouldn't have been called or should have been called, and not everybody was a full time ref. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
games like that serious. I mean, should require full, hired on NFL refs.
Yeah.
You know,
And then also on top of that, all the penalties and flags that are thrown are up to the referee's discretion. So one referee might see it to be a little bit more aggressive than another referee.
yeah.
So it just
That's when they say got to sit there and discuss and whatnot. I mean, if they call the flag and obviously it's blatant, there's nothing they can do about it when it comes to discussing. But if it's like some he saw, and or they both saw, but the other refs didn't and the crowd didn't, and maybe a few people did, but when like it goes back to like if you're doing something blatant, they're gonna have to call it. I mean,
yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But I mean, sometimes I've seen some blatant things that haven't been called.
that's what I'm saying. It's all on the refs. I mean, they play big parts on that.
Mm-hmm. But no, I think that may be something that the NFL, in years to come might look into. I would hope that they would look into. But until then, we do what it is that we have, and hope to God that the NFL isn't scripted. But I mean, with the supposed league script, unless they hurry up and came up with a new script, I think we'll figure out come Sunday. And
If
I'm
How will
excited
we
for the Super
know?
Bowl. We won't, unfortunately.
Exactly. How will we know that?
if
If
it
they
is
do
Bigger
win, it's
scripted,
scripted. If they
organization.
changed it, then is
Well,
it
if they
proof that
all
it's
go
scripted?
out there and look like they don't know what they're doing, then
We'll
we'll
know it's
know.
scripted and they changed it
Yeah,
last
we'll
minute.
know it. We'll know it was a last minute change to the script, and now everybody's a little confused.
right? If
Because
it
you
is
got two
scripted, I
really good
think the
teams.
Cowboys got the wrong dude.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's scripted, then I mean, the Cowboys are probably the only ones that they don't script the games for because they already know that they're gonna lose.
This
Explain
big
that
in
to
an
Tom Brady.
organization, they
Yeah.
would
Well,
probably have
Tom
backup.
Brady. See, that's what it is. See, they finally scripted a game for the Cowboys to win, so Tom Brady can have a reason to retire. If you can't
Oh.
I
beat
wouldn't
the
want to retire
shittiest,
on losing to the Cowboys. What?
he said, if he can't beat the shittiest team in the league, then he
What are you
doesn't want to
talking
play anymore.
about? That's the Browns. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm starting to think it's Houston. To be honest with you. Um.
I didn't see any of their
I
games. this year.
kind of hurt.
Yeah. Well, life kind of hurts. No, but I mean, I am looking forward to Sunday, and we will be watching the Super Bowl, one way or another. So, I guess we'll see come Sunday.
Oh yeah.
I believe it's free on the Fox app.
In the Fox app.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's
so-
probably going to be a lot of different places that you can and can't watch it. I will say
Yeah.
this: if everybody decides they want to go to a place like Buffalo Wild Wings and stuff like that, get there early because 9 out of 10 there's going to be a charge to get in there.
And everybody's already thinking the same thing you are.
Yeah, that is probably scripted.
I never had the. I never got the. Wow, my brain went numb.
Good.
Okay.
Appeal. I never got the appeal for going to a restaurant to watch a game.
I
You
don't
can't
know,
even hear anything. You can't, focus. You can't,
but it's the
Then they're
atmosphere.
overcharging.
It's the atmosphere of having all of these people in there. It's. I mean, it ain't no different than y'all said y'all didn't like watching sports, but then we all started watching sports together.
No, it's not that we didn't like watching sports. It's that
Well,
we
y'all
just
didn't.
did it. I myself, I don't have like cable and stuff like that. I have streaming apps. That's it. I don't pay enough attention to TV in general. So it's
Yeah.
like I don't have anything really to watch it on. So if it was on and I was just in my room, I'd have it running as even in the background. It's good. It's fun. It's great to fucking watch. Especially with other people. But like, it's not some, you know, that
Oh.
one I like just sit here and watch by myself. I'm not to where I know every team's quarterback or their.
Or where your buddy can flip through the pick your favorite team on Madden and name the players off and have somebody else name the team.
Yeah, no, that. Yeah, it's good to watch with somebody that knows it because then I can learn it a little more. But yeah, I mean, it's not like that I don't like it. It's not like that I didn't care for it. It's just I don't have cable or TV to watch it on. I mean, yeah, I could go get ESPN or whatever, and I don't even think they do it sometimes, right? Like
No, they don't.
ESPN is so
Plus is
shoddy.
the
free.
ESPN Plus or whatever.
I got
No, they don't show the
ESPN
games.
Plus
Yeah.
because it was supposedly you could watch the games on it, and from day one that I had ESPN Plus, I never got to watch a single game.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
booty.
So I don't bother with those because it's like I know it's just for one. It's just I don't want to get some for that just for football, and for two, like I'm not in the mix enough to care about the coverage on everything else.
Mhm.
And that's all they're going to be doing is either coveraging or playing. And I didn't get to watch any of the. And I heard friends tell me that they didn't get to watch on ESPN or ESPN Plus or So I mean, and then I think what was it? Peacock was supposed to show it or have it, and
It does,
other.
but it only does the ones that are on the NBC network.
Yeah, it's the ones that are free to,
So yeah, it's on
regular
N-
TV.
So well, no, it's not even that because I mean, well,
Well, you still
'cause-
have to have a subscription to Peacock to be able to watch the NBC games.
so, but it was just it's easier to have it, in one place. And if I was, gonna just watch football by itself, and I just watched every episode, that'd be different. But to catch it here and there, it's not something I'd care to pay for on another, to add to my expensive streaming bill as it is.
Right.
But I mean, that's what y'all got me for, because
Yeah,
I know ways around everything.
yeah, we got it going over here. We good.
Yeah, we gets things working. But no, Super Bowl Sunday coming up Sunday. The game is at 5:30 p.m. So one thing that I did hear, Philadelphia schools Monday after the Super Bowl will be starting 2 hours later to accommodate for kids staying up and watching the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Wow, I wish I got it that easy in school.
Right?
Well, I
Gee,
mean, Dallas
just
hasn't been to a Super Bowl since you've been alive, so I mean, maybe it is that easy. I don't know.
No, because any days of school that we missed, we had to make up. Nowadays, you just get to miss the whole entire year and be counted as, just because they got something called COVID or something. Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah, whatever that COVID shit is, they'll just pass you
Yeah.
through.
What is that?
yeah, no. What are you talking about? You got to miss out on school and still pass.
Not how they go to that shit.
So, but Fabno,
Shit. We
if
had
if
natural
Big
disasters down here, and fuck, we
you'd
still had
have
to go to school.
It's like, oh, what? There's supposed to be an earthquake? Okay. Oh, it snowed outside? All right, you're good.
Oh, there's a
3 feet of
category.
water?
There's a category
Nowadays,
4
you only
hurricane
get
coming your
school
way.
out
Well,
on
we'll let y'all go to
Thursday.
school. We'll let y'all get out half a day, because it's not gonna be here till 1:00. So we'll let y'all out at 12:30.
Imagine spending your last moments at school because the school said, look, it comes at this time. So we'll let you go home at this time so that we're not responsible for you when it happens and comes,
Yeah, you're gonna stay at school till 12:30. The
We
storm's
still
hitting
want to
it.
make you come to school and you'll.
Yeah, the storm's gonna be here at 1 is whenever they say it's gonna start. So 12:30 we'll let y'all go home. That way your parents could be responsible for your death.
Do y'all
Um,
remember having tornado drills in the school?
Yeah, you used to sit there with cover your heads and with your backpack or
Passed
books.
out in the hallway.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't have
Yeah.
tornado drills. We had, well, I mean, maybe whenever I was in like the younger grades, but whenever I started getting like, and not high school, but a little bit, earlier than that, we had just like the regular fire drills and like
Oh, of course.
the lockdown
Everybody looked
drills.
forward to a fire drill. It got you out of class and got to stand outside. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, everybody looked to a fire drill. But when you're sitting there having to with your back arse, or the ones where they put you under like the tables or whatever to like cover, it's like what? It's
Yeah,
like,
but my ass is stand there and look at the table and be like, now how the fuck you expect me to get underneath there?
exactly. Well,
I'm going to lift the table up. Who's going to stand on each end and hold it so I'll sit underneath there?
What's crazy is like, it's a crazy topic, but school shooting. Like, we practiced drills like that all throughout elementary and somewhat middle, I guess. We never had that. I never hear kids talking about doing the drills, and now those are everywhere.
I mean, I've done the drills.
No.
Where they
I'm
make
talking
you,
about-
where they make you stand and look. So this is the thing that I've always had with school shooting. This is the thing I always had. Okay, 9 out of 10. If it's a school shooting, it's a kid that went to that school. You don't think them people don't know the protocol? They talk about hide in the corner, turn the lights off. What good is that gonna do? They're just gonna open the door and look into the corner that they know we're gonna stand in, and just that's it. We're done for.
No,
But-
Bro, gonna get like C4 strapped to the wall. That's just
He's gonna get
Shut
like
the door.
Modern Warfare 2 drill charges to throw at the wall. Watch this. I'm about to get a collateral. I mean, come on.
That's messed up, Trevor.
But I mean, it's true. I mean, it is true. And then not only that, even if it's not
still in school, okay.
even if it's not somebody that is in the same grade as you or in the school at the same time as you, they've had the same drills for God knows how long. I mean, you would think at some point in time they would come up with either a better way to protect the classrooms as a whole, at least put a lock on the door or something. No, they tell you to go stand in the corner on the same wall that the door is on. Be quiet.
Oh, my fault.
What?
He was talking. He said, "Be quiet." And he said, "Oh, my fault."
No, I wasn't talking to. I wasn't talking to you, Freno. Calm down. But they tell you that
those weren't his instructions for.
No,
For school.
we get ours out of our backpack and 1v1 them.
no, that's only people of your caliber. Extra white.
Bro, rage quits. IRL.
IRL rage quits, just throws the gun down and walks out the door.
Bro's got stuns in his backpack.
You just hear Ferno. You just hear Ferno pop his head out the classroom. Frag out! Frag out!
Oh, gamers can't fucking talk about this stuff. Cause look,
No, because I mean
Collateral.
this is a serious issue, and I know we're sitting here making jokes about it and stuff like that. But I mean, back to the whole, drill charge through the wall because we're all standing in the same corner. Even if it's somebody that didn't go to the school at the same time as you, or somebody's going to go to the school after you, it's always been the same drills that you run. You get in the corner, you be quiet, you turn the lights off.
How did we get here?
What good does that do against a person that can open that door, because there's no locks on the doors, will open that door and go, "What's up, guys?" I mean, it's that simple. And now, when I got into high school, I say there's no locks on the doors. When I got into high school, the doors did lock from the outside, but not the inside. But the door handles, there's a window on this door.
Isn't it supposed to be bullet resistant though?
No, it's not. It's
It's
shatterproof.
supposed. It's
Oh,
it's shatterproof to keep from like storms and like tornadoes and earthquakes and stuff from breaking the window and
Yeah, that way you
Yeah.
can't like hit it with something and it'll just shatter all over. But you can still hit it with, say I mean, if you are in the school with the butt end of a gun, or literally you could punch the window out. I've watched somebody do it. It's
Yeah.
it's it's shatterproof. That way, if something small hits it or something like that, it doesn't just explode and there's glass everywhere.
Gotcha.
So what it'll do is it'll spider web all throughout the window, taking the shock of it. But the second hit, it breaks the window. So I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's dumb. But I want to ask this because I've done it. Now, how many of y'all sat in the class and was like this and sat there and ran these scenarios through your heads of what you was gonna do if somebody walked through that door with a gun?
I was always the main character.
Man, I had a backpack that weighed like 50
Oh God.
pounds. And my first instinct was, here, hold this.
I mean, my thing is them textbooks, they throwable.
I didn't use a locker. I used a backpack.
not to incriminate myself, but boy carried.
Well, I mean, look, bruh, I'm just saying. But no, I mean, how many people has actually just sat in this?
1v1.
I mean, and guys probably have done it more times than anything. Sitting in the classroom just thinking, okay, somebody walks through that door, there's a school shooter, this is exactly what I'm going to do. And every day you play a different scenario through your head on trying to figure out which one might work better.
You always end up kissing the girl.
Yeah, at the end of it, you're always the hero.
Not
But
me.
no, it's...
Kissing the dudes.
I don't know.
Wow.
Is that a problem, Ferno?
Yeah, Ferno. Is that
Ferno,
a problem?
Is that a problem?
Mr. Two Guy Taker, is that an issue?
Yeah.
No, it's not an issue at all.
Ferno says Ferno said in his a little corgi comes running through the door and that's who he kisses.
He's got the peanut butter.
He pulls a jar of peanut butter out of his backpack.
I will
Come here.
/leave right now. Don't think I won't.
That kind of transitions us into the next topic. So let me ask you this. Okay, not the dog. Hold up, calm down. Let me back up a second. The sitting in the classroom, thinking about this kind of stuff and thinking about what you do. You think that would be like a form of toxic masculinity?
No?
No, not really.
No.
No.
Well,
Okay.
maybe the kissing the girl part, maybe.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm not even gonna go there. So I have a little story for y'all. Now let's tell switch the story. Okay, so I've been real sick all week. Still sick now. I've been real busy at work. So coming up with my topic for the podcast this week is was basically a no-go. Aside from the fact that we all pretty much had like the same topic picked out in our mind, we all ended up, aside from Beaker and Fevno, going with something different. So Beaker had to change his last second. So I left work yesterday, and I mean I was like feeling really, really, really bad yesterday. So I left work at 5:00 when I got off. I went to the gas station. Now I go to the same gas station every single day. So everybody in this gas station, all the women that work in there, all the guys that work in there, the owner, all of them know me. Um, so I got out my car. I was gonna run in to grab something to drink. Had a lady behind me. So, I waited a second for her to catch up and I, opened the door and held it open for her. To which she proceeded to give me a very smug look and basically just brush off the fact that I opened this door for her and she walked on through. So, and it just kind of, not feeling good, being real busy at work, already being aggravated, just triggered this response of, this sarcastic, "You're welcome." Um, to which she then turned around and so I kind of want to get a little bit of, this is kind of where the question's leading into. Do y'all think that this is considered toxic masculinity as well? To which she then proceeded, all you guys and y'all toxic masculinity, and just proceeded to go on about that. And, like I told Switch, like I said, I was telling him this story before we started the podcast. Now the people in the gas station, they know me. So I proceeded to tell her, I was like, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, which just really enraged her even more for whatever reason. So before she was able to say anything else, the people behind the counter kind of, jumped on her because, I have developed a relationship with these people. They are friends of mine. Do y'all consider that to be toxic masculinity?
I wouldn't think so. No.
You talking about the way you responded, or
No, just the whole situation in general. Not even the way that I responded, but the fact that I held the door open and she gave the smug look and walked through. So apparently she was already thinking that when I held the door open. And just the fact that I responded with the "Oh, you're welcome" just kind of triggered her to say something. So
how was her response? Like, what kind of what was
like
her
when I
response?
opened
Yeah,
held the door open, it was just a
kind of
smug look on
you
her
guys and
face.
your. That's all she said was you guys and your toxic masculine.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all. That's it.
Pretty much, yes. Everything after that kind of just was just her.
Honestly, you're not. I mean, me. If somebody's far enough behind, I'm closing the door on your ass. I don't care. Okay. I'm not obligated to hold the door. If I do hold the door and they don't say anything, in my head, I'm like, yeah, fuck you. But also, it's like nobody told me to do that. I didn't have to do that. And, it was my own choice. It was a decision I made for myself
Mm-hmm.
to hold the door for somebody else. I'm being nice just because they're being the way they are doesn't mean I'm going to let it affect me any more than the stuff that I'm already dealing with. But then again, I'm the type to kind of put stuff off like that. Like, it takes a lot more than, in my head, yeah, I'm mad, but I'm like, wait, this is kind of my decision. Nobody told me that. I'm not obligated to hold the door open, just as nobody else. I wouldn't expect anybody to hold the door open for me,
Mm-hmm.
you know? It's kind of like, it's just kind of like some people have it instilled in them to say thank you or to respond nicely to someone's just a kind gesture. But for someone like me, it's like, it's whatever. Like, oh, you open the door? All right. Hey, thanks. I get a quick thanks or something, could change the situation, but I wouldn't feel any different had I not held the door open.
Mm-hmm.
So I just
So
treat like a small moment like that. It just is treated as like whatever. But like I think it was more of the weekly thing that was going on that kind of like set it off because you're already aggravated and it made you feel away. But her response was like putting you in a group that you're not necessarily a part of.
yeah.
You know?
So well, that's the thing. See, normally in that situation, I wouldn't have said anything. If she would have just walked past and not said that, because I hold the door open for everybody. I've always been that way. It's just my way of, having some kind of common courtesy or decency, towards somebody else.
Right.
So I'll hold the door open for anybody, women, men, kids. It doesn't make a difference. If somebody else is walking out or walking in, I will hold the door for them. And you don't always get, a thank you or nothing like that. And I don't look for a thank you or anything like that. But it's really more the way that she gave me the smug look when she walked past me
Some people are
because
trying to
I
wreck
was
people's image.
holding that door open.
Well, that's her.
And that's what triggered the response. So what the question is the holding the door open itself, would you consider that to be, part of, toxic masculinity?
No, I'll consider it being
No,
a
Not
gentleman.
absolutely.
even the slightest.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think
Okay.
just small-minded people have
Okay. So
nothing to complain about, so they'll find something somewhere.
I believe that too many people confuse being a gentleman and toxic masculinity.
yeah,
There's a fine line, but people are blind to it.
and honestly, I completely agree with you. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that we have is the fact that people can't differentiate between toxic masculinity or healthy masculinity or, somebody literally just being a gentleman. So, according to this that I have right here in front of me, and the question is what is toxic masculinity? Toxic masculinity is a term that throughout the last few years has gained a lot of traction because it's something that you see everywhere. So it refers to the dominant form of masculinity where men try to use dominance, violence, and uh, control basically to assert superiority or power over other people, and a lot of the traits that come with that is like unconditional physical toughness is one of them, which is basically somebody saying suck it up, you're a man, or something like that. As well as physical aggression or fear of emotions. Homophobia could be, one of the traits of somebody who has, toxic masculinity. Hyper independence, meaning, I can do this by myself. I don't need you. I don't need anybody else's help. Or, sexual aggression and violence. So those are like the main traits for somebody who portrays toxic masculinity. And the first one that I mentioned, the unconditional physical toughness, is kind of one that I want to really touch on a little bit because you know every guy in their life hears that from either their dad or whoever it is, and I don't necessarily think that that would be a trait of toxic masculinity. um I do believe it being a trait of toughness, toughen somebody up, because I don't consider myself or either one of these three gentlemen, as much as I joke around with them and stuff like that, in any way, shape, or form to be toxic. And I would hope that they would see that me in the same light. Um,
You, you toxic.
yeah, me
Uh,
toxic.
that
um,
one made me laugh because like I'm sitting here the whole time you're talking about us, yeah, but you said you, and it's like I can't imagine you as a toxic kind of guy. Like
No,
even in a
definitely not.
bad mood,
Well,
you
you
don't
gotta
put.
understand that Travis is a taller and a bigger dude, and on the first impression, the way he acts can be, well, I wouldn't say like scary. I'd say
intimidating.
yes, intimidating.
So I mean, I have heard that a lot in my lifetime, that I'm a very intimidating person, even though I mean I try my hardest not to be.
Like a
And
day with you, you could change that whole mindset. That wasn't a first impression, and I'm not saying that she was in the right or that she was in the wrong, but it was a first impression, and you
I'm,
are
I'm definitely saying she was in the wrong.
Having a bad day,
yeah.
or
She
that's
could,
just her.
You never
yeah,
know. You never know.
she
We're
could have been
we're
having a
only
bad day,
getting
but she was still in the
side of
wrong.
Travis's side of it. I try
yeah,
to stay neutral always. So before I would pick a side, I'd see both sides. But the info that I've got from Travis, I'm on Travis's side. But
yeah. Well, I
Travis
mean,
is
I'm not sitting here asking either of y'all to pick sides. Um, because at the same time, the response that I did give, well, I mean, the sarcastic "you're welcome" kind of can be looked at as a problem on my side, but it's just bad
I
day,
mean,
bad week or not. the smug look when I was trying to do something kind for somebody else, even though I'm having a bad week myself, just kind of threw me off. But no,
I will
back.
say you handled
I can
it way
see
better
why.
than what I would have.
Yeah, well, I mean, I try to be nice to everybody, because I mean, you don't going through life, you don't know what other people are dealing with behind what they allow you to see.
Exactly.
So I mean, I try to not push those boundaries beyond. Um, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Try to push those boundaries beyond my comprehension of what's going on in their life. So back to the unconditional physical toughness, and this, a lot of the times when you hear people complain about toxic masculinity, I will say this: it is women, because another one of the traits of toxic masculinity is the anti-feminism. Um, so women a lot. Now, me personally, going back to the physical toughness, the suck it up, you're a man. I can't tell you how many times personally I've heard a woman either tell somebody that I know or tell me personally these exact same things, but these are the same women that are turning around talking about, oh, feminism, this, that, and everything else. Oh, we don't like toxic masculinity. But if that's the case, and that's one of the traits that, creates toxic masculinity, aren't you contributing to it?
Just
And
by talking about it, yeah.
by saying, oh, well, you show too much emotions, you're not man enough for me, I'm going to go find
Right,
somebody else.
right, exactly.
Mhm.
So, I mean, coming from, I mean, you get hit from both sides here. They're telling you that the physical toughness, or the unconditional physical toughness that you receive from your father or your mother or whoever, is what makes you this away, but you shouldn't be this away. But these people that are saying that toxic masculinity is a bad thing is also turning around and pushing you right back into that same direction. So it's just, now, and I will also say this: I was in a relationship myself that physical aggression and the hyper independence, I did have to deal with that myself from somebody else that I was in. So it's not really just from a male's perspective that all these things come from. I mean, it goes both ways. Um, but it's just, I think, to learn the difference between a toxic masculinity or being a gentleman or healthy masculinity, um, is going to come down to whether or not you want to listen and learn about somebody else. Okay, because I was treated with that unconditional physical toughness, as well as I was nurtured at the same time by my dad and my mom both. So I think I turned out all right.
Let's be nice.
I mean,
That's
Try to be like you, my boy.
okay, look, I get it. Not everybody's had the. I mean, I do, and I am very grateful for everything that my mom has done for me, and I'm very grateful for everything that my dad's done for me. Um,
The fine young man.
even my stepfather, who's not with us anymore, I'm very grateful for everything that he's done. My mom, my papa, all these people. I think that's what made me into the man that I am today. Um, but going and transitioning off of that, so I want to talk about what they consider to be healthy masculinity. Um, so what is healthy masculinity? Healthy masculinity is either a healthy or positive um, masculinity, that the idea that men can be emotionally expressive and have to where they can have female friends and mentors and express their feelings without being emasculated. Um,
Yeah.
which they say the traits of these is like, so the following ways are to kind of try to remove the stereotypes and encourage men to be more um, out there, more of themselves, and that is to address disrespect is the first one. Now, I don't see how addressing disrespect kind of puts you at the same time, depending on how you address disrespect, should I say, can put you in either one of these categories. So I don't understand exactly how that one made it in here, but not into the other one. Um, encourage men to express their emotion. Now, each one of these gentlemen has seen me express my emotion before, whether that be good, whether that be sad, anger, so on and so forth. I've witnessed it from each of them as well. Baker especially. Me and Baker's got a really close bond when it comes to stuff like that. That's my that's my buddy right there. Um, Fevno, Switch. I mean, at any point in time, have I ever made y'all feel as though y'all couldn't express y'all emotions towards me?
No,
Mm-mm.
no. I've always thought that I could come to you with anything.
Okay, Baker, you didn't answer that question.
Well, you didn't say his name, so
I'm not included. It's an instant, automatic. Like
Yeah.
you already know it. It's like I was included in the buddy package right there that you just said. So
Yeah, no,
I
but
don't
I
know anything
like
about
I like to hear your sweet voice, so I just
it.
wanted you to.
Yeah.
But no, and I mean, and that goes vice versa for y'all. So, I mean, I guess that kind of pulls more towards, I guess, what you would consider to be healthy masculinity, or um, being gentlemen, or being. I mean, I'm trying to think of ways to put this, like
proper maybe.
Human?
proper, human, just all around a good person. I mean, I guess that's the best way that you could say it. That kind of keeps it broad enough, and also keeps it, within the understanding. Um, so the next one on this list is like to encourage compassion and kindness towards themselves and others. Um, listen to experiences and validate emotions. So, I mean, we've all had our, experiences and issues in the past, and we've all discussed them, whether it be with one another, whether or not y'all discuss it with another friend, or y'all, or whatever the case may be. And I will say this: if you're going through an experience or whatever the case may be, no matter who you are, man, woman, no matter what, whatever the experience may be, a breakup, or the loss of a family member or something like that, if you express your emotion to somebody and they basically say that your emotions are invalid, no matter what, that is not somebody you need to have in your life. Under no circumstances should they be within your center circle to where you would want to express what it is you're feeling towards them. Because as a friend, or even an acquaintance, a best friend, whatever the case may be, if I'm comfortable enough to express what in my life is hindering me, then that means that I look at you as, somebody who's close to me. And if you can't, you know, take that mindset that, you should just be okay because whatever reason, then I don't want you to be part of, that close friendship that, I expect us to have. Um, and the last one is to like check in with your male friends and your loved ones. Now, I do believe that this is something that, everybody should do, no matter the circumstances. Um, but going over this list right here for the what they consider to be healthy masculinity, out of curiosity, I mean, do y'all agree or disagree with any of these, or do y'all even look at these as being, part of what y'all would consider to be healthy masculinity? I mean, that's for any of y'all
I
to
mean,
answer.
I'll let someone else.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's just more of like being a good person, I guess, in general. It's not like they'd be considered, but in a sense, like there's certain things that guys do that is looked upon or expected from, and like when they're not done, we're looked at differently. Or if we, I guess, do it in a different manner, that can be, I guess, considered or portrayed uh differently that other than a healthy, yeah, or healthy masculinity. Like, but when it comes to things like, I don't know, holding the door open, I think that's just for people in general. Like you said, you do it for everybody, you know, and that just goes back to being a good person. I mean,
Hmm.
um, as far as like, I forgot I was gonna go with that. Honestly, I was gonna say something,
Oh,
but
it's
yeah,
fine.
it'll come back to me.
Well, I mean, while you're getting it to come back to you or whatever, so I kind of want to help differentiate the difference between toxic masculinity and what I would consider to be healthy masculinity. And I brought it up in the toxic part about like the anti-feminism. Um, and of course, feminism will do the working part as being it's like one of the biggest topics when you talk about feminism. Um, Now I was raised that a man should provide for his family. That's just the way I was always raised. See, but where I think a lot of things get mixed up is when I was also raised the way that I was raised. Um, it wasn't until a few years back that my mama had got her first job. Um, my well, not her first job, but as an adult, a job. My stepmom, for as long as I can remember, she's always worked. My daddy's always worked up until he had his issues with his back. But every one of them, they've always provided. And the way that I look at it is me as a man, I mean, I was brought up to you provide for your family, but at the same time, that doesn't mean even though that I was brought up that I should provide for my family, that if I'm with somebody, that they can't work. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
So even
Yeah.
though I look at myself to be the provider, doesn't mean that if whoever I'm with wants to go out and get a job and help provide, that there should be an issue with that. And with I've seen it with my own eyes. There are guys out there that have issues with that. And now to me that is a form of toxic masculinity. That
yeah,
is something that should never happen because everybody does have their right to work.
Mhm.
Okay? I mean, if you're an able bodied person, you have the right to go out and work if you want to, whether that be a man or a woman, whatever. So I just, to me, that's one argument that I do see get brought up a lot. And I think that's what differentiates toxic masculinity to healthy masculinity if, somebody needed a little bit of a clarification. I believe that the man should be the provider, but if his partner wants to go out and work, they should be more than able to. There should be no
shouldn't
holding
be
them back and no
yeah,
hindrance.
yeah. You don't just because they want to feel like they're in like control of like the money situation or how financials go, or they just that gives them that sense of, like you said, control. Like, um, but when like I see it as like you're both brought up to be a provider, you know.
Hmm.
So in the sense of being in a relationship was like if y'all are both brought up to be providers for your family, y'all are both gonna work, and to sit there and be like, oh no, you have to stay home and take care of the kid, like, while I work, only I can work or provide.
Hmm.
That's yeah, no, that's more of a control and feeling in charge, that feeling that empowerment over their partner.
Yeah,
So I
I
mean,
don't. I don't believe in the whole you have to stay home and take care of the household.
yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. Like, um, you go out, pay for dinner, that kind of thing. It's like, oh, I'll pay for it this time, pay for it next time, kind of thing.
Hmm.
And some people have a problem with some guys is just like, no, I'm paying for it because then it looks, you know, or the slide me your card because she's paying for it but doesn't want nobody to see it because it makes them seem or feel some kind of way about themselves because
Hmm.
she's paying for it, or you know someone else is paying for it. it's like no, they want to feel that sense of they can take care of everything, you know.
Uh,
And
well, I just sorry to cut you off like that.
no, you're
I
good.
want to touch on what it was you just said about the whole sliding the card under the table. That being a thing. Because to me personally, if I'm with somebody, first off, say if I get married or whatever, and I'm with my wife and we
What?
go out to dinner with friends or whatever. Me personally, I will not feel ashamed if she pulls the card out of her wallet and pays for it. But
Yeah.
society has whipped everything around to if the man isn't doing it, then he is no longer a man. That he's a
Yeah.
bum. But that is a woman's society. If that makes sense. Because the only time I ever hear that being talked about in that standpoint is women.
I
I
mean,
mean,
in a
under
sense,
my own
I
personal.
I, I think it comes in a sense where it's like first dates. That's different, you know. If you're trying to impress, you're trying to show that you're you can maintain and handle, you know, rather than trying to control the situation the whole time. Like if they offer to pay for it, you're like, no, I insist, and they go back and forth, and it's like, no, I got it. You start getting, it's like, no, it's like if they
Well,
offer to get it, it's like, well, we'll split it, you know?
they've
Yeah.
Yeah,
always got the option to go Dutch.
yeah.
I mean, you're
but
right about that.
but that's what I'm saying. Like in reality, I mean, if they're together and there's still an issue with that, then there should not be a relationship there or anything because I mean that's just gonna can cause problems. I mean, if y'all are both y'all can't agree to something as something is paying for food, imagine later on in bigger things, and so it just doesn't like to be that toxic around partners. It just goes to show, and I think more of like in people in general, because I think we've brought it just strictly to a relationship standpoint. But to be like, say we go out to eat, none of us is gonna argue about who pays for what. Maybe Ferno, but that's different. But
Word.
Yeah, but we
Oh,
got Fevno. He's the child of the group, so we
yeah,
always got your back, bud.
kids eat free.
mhm.
Yeah, we're gonna
Ah,
take it to one of those restaurants that if you're under 12, you eat free, and you're gonna be 11 for the
Yeah.
night.
With those parents that lie about the age to get,
Hey, look, bro, I was
no, 15.
12. I was 12 for like 6 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So,
every
but
single time I go out of state and I would go to a new restaurant, it was my birthday.
Oh yeah, I know
yeah.
people that do that.
So it's like it's just like I said, and people in general, we wouldn't complain, who pays for what.
Hmm.
But say if it was like I don't know, Switch that was like, no, I'm paying for everything.
Yeah, right. I'm
All right.
poor.
Baker, I
Right.
think that would come down to me
Bro,
and you, bud.
pay for everything.
Response out of that from Ferno or Switch, and I was looking, I was like, who don't want to put in this situation? So I hesitated, and so I was like, no, Switch will say something about it. So I was like, no, but like saying like, Switch was like, I got it, guys, don't worry, I hit the lottery. And I was like,
I mean, if
but
I had
like,
the money, yeah, I'd totally offer. But
yeah, but
if you say, "Yo, I'm gonna pay for my own,"
yeah, but I'm not gonna go back and forth with who's gonna pay what because it's like I don't
right?
have that kind of ego to do. Look, man, hey, if you want to pay for it, it's not gonna make me feel no kind of way if you do. Thank you.
Yeah, if I reach for the check and Baker reaches
I
for the
mean, you
check and we
reach for it
both
with your
grab a hold
chance,
to it, we're not
and then
about
you
to play tug of war
compromise.
across this table.
Oh,
No, they're gonna start touching hands.
Yeah, I mean, we
And
might kiss, but I mean, we're not gonna play tug of war across this table. I'm either gonna let go of it or he's gonna let go of it, and whoever doesn't let go of it's gonna be the one that's gonna pay for it.
yeah,
Or I'm gonna be like, look, do you want to split the bill 50-50? It works for me.
exactly. And it's not gonna be. So that's what I'm saying. Like is in general, uh, no, relationships and They don't work and they don't build when you have that toxic masculinity.
Yeah. Well, see, and I want to go back to the whole sliding the card under the table thing, and then the way that the society has brought it out to be. If all four of us went out to dinner, all four of us was married or in a relationship or whatever, and we go out to dinner, society has done conform to the way that if the man doesn't pay, he's a bum, right? Okay.
Just
So
real quick, in this scenario, we're all married to women and we're having a four-way date, right? Not like we're all married to each other.
I mean, we
We're all
could be
married, 'cause
married.
there's no females here.
I mean, we could be married to each other, but I definitely did say if we all went out to dinner with our wives or girlfriends.
Okay.
I mean, Switch, if you want to go on a date, I'll take you on a date. That's fine.
Oh, you're
Um,
so sweet.
Oh yeah, I'd take you to
I'll be sitting in the
McDonald's and
parlor.
get you a fucking
Bring kids eat free.
yeah. We'll bring Ferno. He'll be our child.
There
I'll
you
sit
go.
in the little booster seat thing.
But no, I mean, say if we was just in that situation or whatever, and the way that society has conformed itself to be that, like I said, if men don't pay their bums, and really at the same time, every one of us as wives or girlfriend is passing their card underneath this table. I mean, what's the difference? You get what I'm saying? Whether it be above the table or under the table, I mean, we're all doing the same thing. But the way that society makes it look, you don't want to do it above the table because you don't want the next guy sitting across from you to go, oh, well, he's a bum. Or his wife being, oh, he's a bum. Do you see his girlfriend's using her card to pay for it?
Nigga thing. Yeah.
And, I mean, I've seen this myself. I've had friends of mine that their thing is one person will pay for dinner one time, and his girlfriend will pay for the dinner the next time, or vice versa, or their money was together, so he may not feel like taking his wallet out and her purse is right there, or whatever. But then you get behind the scenes and you hear your other friends or whatever being, oh, did you see that she paid for it? Oh, he
Well,
must
that's
not
kind of
make any
funny.
money. Or things like that. And I've always been the type of person like, look, y'all don't know what their situation is. First
Yeah.
off, now I do because everybody likes to tell me what their situation is for whatever reason. Doesn't bother me none because I do very much enjoy helping people out where I can. But I mean, y'all don't know what their situation is. Y'all don't know the agreement that they have. Maybe his check doesn't come in till tomorrow. She has the money in her account, but they wanted to come out with us.
The funny thing is, there's such thing for anybody who doesn't know this that is a toxic masculine guy or girl. They have such things at banks called joint accounts where both of you have a different card to the same account.
Yeah, and that is true as well. I mean, but that's not the way that people look at it. People look at it of, well, that's going out of her purse instead of his wallet, or that's coming out of his wallet instead of her purse. See, because, and like I said, I mean, I've seen it so many times. You go out, and it's okay for if you go into a store and your girlfriend goes, oh, I want this, and you pull your wallet out and you pay for it, nobody bats an eye. But if you go out to eat and she pulls her wallet out and pays for it, and this is a date or something, and they go, "Well, he must be a bum." You
I don't
get what
know.
I'm saying? It's.
I don't think I'd have any shame if I had a sugar mama.
I mean, I wouldn't either, but I mean,
Well, some girls like to wear the pants in the relationship, and some guys like to wear the skirt in the relationship. So
but
to judge someone upon that standard, I believe it's not.
well, not only that. I
What
mean,
do
it's
you
not
got,
even necessarily. I mean, Ferno likes to wear the skirt in the relationship, and usually whatever
Yeah.
boyfriend he has at the time is wearing the pants.
Bro, I'm straight.
Yeah, straight up gay. We love you, Ferno. But no, I mean, it's not even necessarily even that. I mean, it could be the normal, guy wear the pants, girl wear the skirt. I mean, it doesn't make a difference, no matter what the situation is when that comes. But it's not what y'all think. The problem is the fact
What
that they
other
get
people
judged
think.
because of what other people say.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think that that should be something that you should be judged for. Now, me personally, I also don't think that you should be worried about what other people think, but some people are. So
You can't
it's,
help.
yeah, and I mean, you can't help it. I mean, you hear somebody talking, and a lot of these people, they think they're sneaky whenever they say things, but
Even the
every,
strong people, the side eyes and the whispers, it's like eventually gonna get to you.
yeah,
No
It,
matter how strong you are or you believe you are,
it helps if you're
it's gonna
oblivious.
get to you.
yeah. So it's said if you don't leave your house, you don't have that issue. Uh,
And
but
even when I do, I don't
But
pay attention to people.
no, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, Ferno, because I'm a very strong-willed person, and I don't let a lot of that shit get to me. But I mean, after a while, I mean, it will wear you down, and
Yeah.
eventually something is gonna get through, and it's gonna be like, well, maybe I'm not worth anything, maybe I am worthless. But that's where you got to learn to pick yourself back up and know what your own self worth is. Um, but I mean, at the same time, with the way society is, it's a lose situation these days, no matter what. I think that's. I mean, y'all have anything else y'all want to add as far as that goes?
Kinda. I don't like the fact that we're calling it toxic masculinity because it's not just masculine about it. I would personally prefer if we just called it what it is. It's toxic behavior. Doesn't matter who it's coming from.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do agree, but the reason why
Best
I
case
keep
scenario.
yeah, I
It
keep
was more
bringing
like
it up as toxic masculinity. First off, yes, because of the scenario that kind of brought on me talking about this topic. But
Right.
not only that is nobody considers it to be toxic behavior anymore because they praise the women for it and downgrade the men for it. So it's
Yeah. It's
yeah,
just
we're men.
something
That's
else
what.
that the small-minded people
What
like
are you gonna
to,
do? Complain about it?
right?
yeah, suck it up, you're a
I
man.
don't do that either.
Yeah.
I mean, look, and
Mhm.
and, and I mean, it's not all women. I mean, it's
Of course not.
definitely not all of them, but there are quite a few of them. And I'm going to tell you this right here. Us talking about this, they would be the ones that would say, "Suck it up, y'all are men." But if y'all remember what I said whenever I was talking about and saying the traits for the toxic masculinity, what was one of the things that I said was something that you get told: "Suck it up, you're a man." So they're
Right.
contributing to the same thing that they say that they're fighting against.
Every time I fell when I was a kid, my stepdad would always say, "Come here and I'll help you up." Does that make him a toxic man? Masculine man?
No,
Okay, just checking.
I don't think so. Not
I
by
mean,
my standards, it doesn't.
it's basically akin to suck it up.
Yeah, I mean it's by my standard, it's not. I mean, I don't know. It's. I think a lot of the issue is a lot of people need to look within themselves, and like you
Right.
Yeah.
said, instead of labeling it as toxic masculinity, maybe taking a look at everything in a whole, whether it be a man or a woman, and just like you said, it's toxic behavior, not toxic feminism or not toxic masculinity, just toxic behaviors.
Right.
A little like disclaimer: wanting to provide for your family isn't toxic. I guess which one's called behavior.
Hmm.
It just depends how far you go into it.
Yeah.
I can understand you wanting to provide for your husband, wife, and so on,
Hmm.
but forcing them not able to fend for themselves is toxic behavior.
Yeah. I mean, because if you really want to get down to it, I mean, so many things could be considered toxic behavior that falls under these same guidelines that we just spoke about that women can do just like men can. I
Mhm.
Right.
mean, like I said, the violence, the sexual, you know, aggression, and the hyper independence. That's all things that I've dealt with personally in relationships that I was in, or through friends that I had and stuff like that were females. I mean, it's not something that's um, specific to men, but that's who
The general.
gets the backlash for it. And yeah, the general consensus is that it's all men.
Mhm.
Uh, I think that's just about. Like I said, unless y'all got something else y'all want to add on to it, you good, be here for now.
No, I'm good. I'm ready to
You
hear about
should.
conspiracies.
Oh, y'all ready to talk about the conspiracy of that of the whole China thing?
Yeah,
All right, for now,
I'm
I'm gonna
interested.
let you take this one on.
All right.
With your
Have y'all
wannabe
heard?
menacing laugh.
I thought have y'all heard about the China balloon? I'm
Yes,
just
I
gonna
think
ask.
No, I've
everybody's
never
heard
heard
about the
about it.
Chinese balloon.
Yeah.
What
So
what
Yeah,
Chinese balloon?
it's made in China.
first one
Which one?
that was spotted over.
Wait, the first one this year or?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, the one that was spotted over
Yeah, you're not talking about the one from
Billings,
a decade ago.
Billings,
Billings?
Billings, Montana. Sorry, I completely brutaled that
Yeah,
Oh,
name.
dude.
guys, keep in mind.
I can't read, so
Yeah, Ferno's illiterate and can't
I'm a bit
read,
a little
so
worried.
suck it up. You're a man. Get through it.
Yeah, so there was a total of two spotted. Uh, the
Who
first
got the
one,
first three?
How do we know it's not the
was
same one, just spot in different locations?
well, because the first one was shot down by an F-22 Raptor.
Oh, so there's
The
more of them.
second one, the second one is still over Costa Rica.
Oh, well, we ain't
Oh,
worried about them. They're in Costa
and
Rica.
so instead of
Mhm.
just
Well, but like,
using a sniper rifle or something, I don't know. Oh,
It
actual
won't
just
reach.
well,
I know. I'm
well,
just
they
joking.
could
Like
do
this, like
gravity.
a bullet.
There's
You
no
know,
gravity.
like I'm saying from the plane instead of wasting a whole ass, missile.
It
Yeah, but what being how we got the
was
number 1 defense budget in the world, I think we can.
We can use a little bit of a target
Yeah,
practice.
right.
You know what
But
I mean?
from what I
But yeah,
read, it was a special missile that didn't explode. Right? It just had blades all around it.
Yeah,
oh,
that's something
great.
like that. It wasn't a normal round.
It
yeah,
was a missile, but it was a special missile.
yeah. Let's scare everybody else around the world even more. We got bladed missiles.
So
That's exactly what it was. A bladed missile.
so they're saying China is saying that it is there, so that is 100% that it is their balloon. But they're saying it was for a weather project.
Yeah, that got out of hand and flew
Hmm.
away.
Yeah. Well,
But
what do y'all think? What are y'all thoughts on
I think
I mean,
it's a load of shit. Personally,
that?
I I don't know. I saw the solar panels, but I didn't see any propulsion.
it was a whole satellite under the.
Yeah, the balloon. But like I said, I didn't see any kind of propulsion system.
Well, you gotta understand, China does have satellites.
Uh-huh.
So what are they trying to look for that they can't use their satellites in space for?
Right.
That's what when I was researching my topic was like the back of my mind. Like if they have these high tech drones in the sky, they have radars and everything. Why are they using a balloon?
Because in order to position a satellite in space, it would cause too much.
It's a lot that goes
Well,
into.
they have more than one, and they do have the ability to move it. It's just slight movements.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
takes hours
no, it takes
because,
more than hours.
Yeah, but
well,
like,
yeah,
what are they
but
so desperately looking for that they need that amount of time? Like, what are they looking for?
See, I
I
don't.
don't know. Considering that they were ships spotted off the coast. I mean, I
Okay,
don't
Were they
know.
looking
so
for a
that's what
Navy?
I was fixing to say.
The
We just had Chinese ships spotted off the coast, and then all of a sudden these balloons pop up in the air. But to me, what interests me more is the way that this balloon, kind of what it is the balloon that got shot down. Now, I didn't know that there was three of them. I only knew about the one.
I
The
only know
balloon
like
that got
two.
shot down
Yeah, I don't know those three.
came through Alaska, back
Right.
out down the outside coast of Canada. So I mean, I don't believe it ever actually entered into Canada. Down across Washington and then across several states before being shot down in South Carolina.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. And then there was another one I heard about that I didn't actually read up about.
So why is it only basic targets is the U.S. if it never truly entered Canada? So like I said, it come through Alaska, down the coast of Canada, and then across all of these major states that have major military bases. Montana has, I think, it's either 4 or 6 major military bases, and then was making its way into South Carolina, which has another. Was it North Carolina or South Carolina? One of them has another
South
major
Carolina's where it
military
was shot down.
base. It is South Carolina.
South Carolina's where it was shot down.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, it was shot down in South Carolina, but it's either North Carolina or South Carolina where there's another major military base. Um. So to me, I don't know. There's just something about it that just doesn't seem right as far as where that goes. And then to say that it's a weather balloon
Mhm.
that got out of hand, that traveled all the way from China to over here by accident. I don't
I
know.
don't
It
buy
just
that part.
I don't buy it. It just doesn't
I don't
seem
think it
right.
was. I don't think it was like it was a China like weather balloon. I think it was like for like I don't know, one of the other is like a third world country type one of the stands.
No,
So then
that's what
why
they
why
said. It was
why
a
would China
Chinese.
come out and say it was theirs if it was a third world country?
No, I'm not saying it's not theirs. I'm saying it was supposed to. That was the course that it was supposed to go was to like one of the other like one of their other countries.
So it coincidentally went through Alaska, past Canada, and went through
No,
the
that's what I'm
states.
saying. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't follow through with what they were saying.
And if
Yes.
it is a weather balloon, how did it get pushed down past Canada? Wouldn't it go through Canada? I don't know
Well,
the
no, no.
weather
I mean,
part
Depending on
I'm
the
of
not.
wind
Canada.
patterns.
I'm not 100% sure what it did as far as the whole Canada thing goes. That's just what I've heard so far.
I know it went around Canada. It went like almost through it,
Yeah.
but it was like it wasn't in the middle. It was like on the far side.
My thing is just the fact that it's past all these major military bases before finally getting shot down in South Carolina.
And their excuse was that they didn't want to chance risking the safety of the public.
Yeah, but
Right.
okay, so this
East
is
Montana is very rural. Rural. The governor himself said that, and he said it would be the perfect place to shoot it down. And he didn't find out about it being there until one of his patrons or citizens, I guess, in Montana, was at an airport and took a picture of it, like a day after everything. It was like in the middle of Montana by then.
yeah, and I mean, and even then, at the same time, Biden had to give the okay to shoot it down, anyways.
Yeah, and
That's what I'm
Biden
saying.
knew about it when it was over in Alaska,
Yeah,
and yet he didn't.
And
He
it's not
didn't.
like they don't have the resources to go shoot it down in that state. In
I mean, in
Montana.
Right.
Alaska, yeah, they do.
Yeah, they could have done it there.
Yeah. Well, not only
Right.
that is like now they're trying to salvage all the parts from it to try to, I guess, learn whatever it is they can learn from it, from
Right.
whatever
And China's.
the true thing that it was here for.
Yeah.
Um,
And
Well, if
China's
they really
wanting its
wanted that,
back
why wouldn't they just go intercept it? Why would they shoot it down?
because it. Never mind.
because
You can't
shooting it
say
down,
anything nice. Don't say anything at all.
you can't just intercept. Yeah, I mean, do you have like, I mean, do you know how big this thing was?
It's like as big as a house.
It's a lot
How
bigger
about
than a
too big?
house. A lot bigger than a house.
Yeah, we saw it from thousands of them. It still looked like a big ass.
I mean, it was the size, just the length alone was longer than most airplanes. Just the length itself, going both directions. I mean, this balloon was massive. So when they shot it down, now they're trying to, like I said, salvage all the parts. Where they shot it down in South Carolina, they're having issues finding all the parts. Even if they was, like you said, with East Montana being very rural, if they'd have shot it down there, would have been the best place in order for the salvage mission.
Right.
Um, but it's just the fact that it had already passed across all these states, whatever. If say, because me personally, I think it was collecting information.
Mhm.
Whatever information it done collected, if that's what it was doing,
It's
has
done
done
been
been
sent.
sent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that they hesitated, and I get it, the fear of not knowing is what really should have made them to where they didn't hesitate. But the fact that they hesitated, waited till they got all the way over South Carolina before finally shooting it down, is I don't like that.
Well, I was talking to someone, and they had mentioned, well, what if there's like the coronavirus or something in the balloon? So if you were to shoot it down, it would be in the upper atmosphere and spread around.
You mean like a gas in the balloon?
Yeah,
See, but the only problem with that is there's so many more effective ways to go about. I mean, if they were really going to do something like that, there's so many more effective ways to go about doing it that just kind of completely takes that off the table. Like logically
right,
speaking, that takes it completely off the table.
right. But I wouldn't put it past them. You've heard about the radioactive dog food bowls that they were sending over, right?
Yeah.
Several
What?
years ago. Yeah, they were repurposing nuclear housing to make dog food bowls and sending them over here for us to use for our pets.
But I don't
That's
think that was based. That was not based on, being a terrorist act though. That was more of a, they're just trying to screw us over by
Easier way
making.
to make money.
Yeah. And I don't think that was really intended for harm. Because, like I said, and especially these days, there's so many ways that it could be done outside of having to make these drastic, you know, unreliable, I guess would be the way that would be the best to put it, means to spread a virus or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I don't know.
why it's muted.
It's, huh?
I said
But
I don't know how I muted.
Yeah. So it's just,
but why send two?
Or three.
well,
Well, as I was saying, to send something like that for a virus, like it would take a lot. You know, something faster would be more efficient. Something that would just fly over.
yeah. I mean, using a damn crop duster would have been a better option than using a balloon. I mean, so I honestly believe with the satellite that was on the bottom of it, it was gathering whatever data it could and
Instantly
sending
transmitting.
it an instant upload and transmission to a server in China. Is what I believe. Now, I mean, it's all conspiracy. Until anything's proven, it's all conspiracy. But
Well,
that's what I believe was what the intent was for it.
the Chinese were trying to fix their relationship with the United States of America. So if they were trying to keep that relationship, why would they send a balloon that's trying to connect or collect data? I mean, like,
Um,
if you're trying to like hold a relationship with someone, why would you go snoop into their stuff? That's like me breaking into your house and looking through your stuff without you
well,
knowing.
see all right. So this is what I'm gonna say. When Trump was in office, that was the thing. That was the main thing. Rebuilding relationships with everybody. But if you haven't noticed since Biden's got in office, all of that's went straight out the window because his thing is combat everything that Trump did, which means the relationships built with these people that were
Are
supposed to
ending
be
brutally.
fixed are getting completely thrown out of the window.
Did you hear
And
what Biden
nobody,
said over to
I heard, but I couldn't understand a word he said.
I quit trying to watch any speech that he does because it either makes my head hurt or I can't understand it.
I think it
Right?
was at the round table or like something. He went and talked to I think it was the prime minister of the UK. It
Hmm
Did he
was
get
like
to meet
some
King Arthur?
oh so
Did King Arthur let him touch his sword, or did he just do it without voluntary permission?
seems like something he'd do without permission.
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
Anyways,
this is the same guy that lets kids rub his leg hair in the fucking swimming pool. So,
so
There.
he said that their military isn't good enough or is decreasing rapidly for America to protect. Like it's protecting, but it's getting nothing back.
What do
what?
you
That's
That
what.
mean?
China's military or our
No, 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 no,
military?
no. The England's military.
Oh,
It's not. We're protecting, but it's not providing.
What is this supposed to provide other than protection?
Like more protection for other countries. It's getting protected itself, but it's not protecting other countries.
Okay, so this is the way I look at it. First off, I mean, nobody has the obligation to protect another country.
Well,
Well,
if you're in NATO, then you
yeah,
do.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Other than in that situation,
that's a
but
lot of places.
you think about it like this. Okay, so if the UK's in NATO, I mean, I don't know if they are or not, but if the UK's in NATO, why are
Technically,
they
they are.
obligated to be the only ones to go protect another country rather than another country?
Right.
They're not, but
But that's what I'm
you?
saying though.
Uh, but like, wouldn't you? All right, let's say our country protects England, and England is going to go protect another country, and that country is going to go protect another country. And then when one of those countries in the little mix gets attacked, they're all going to come together. And if England can't provide for, or like, protect the other country, it's
That's what
going
we
to have
call it.
to defend on its own.
Okay, so
Oh,
well, how about we go back like this? You said that if we protect this country and that country protects another country, why the fuck they don't just protect their own country? And then if an issue arises, that's when somebody else intervenes. Makes more sense, doesn't it? Why should a
Biden doesn't really make
country
sense.
overextend themselves to somebody else in order to protect them so they can go overextend themselves to protect somebody else when you could just protect your own country?
More land, more
But
power,
land has nothing to do with it. Nor
more
does
weapons.
manpower. I mean, you
Money.
don't see these other countries having, a prominent um, presence here in the U.S. or in Canada or in Mexico or anything like that. So why do all these countries overseas have to have, you know, military bases in other countries in order to protect them? You get what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah, I understand, but that's just what Biden was saying. And well,
He says a lot of things.
yeah,
But
and
that's what
None
I'm
of them
saying.
make
What it
nothing
sense.
makes
was that
sense.
he
That's
was
all.
saying is stupid, and it
Yeah,
doesn't make sense. Maybe if he would have worded it different or something. I mean, the dude can't word anything anyways. He's senile. But it's, I don't know.
even if
yeah.
there
At
was
least
no
Trump
point
would
in
have just
saying
tweeted
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like,
At least everybody. That's how everybody sees everything nowadays, right? So I mean,
mhm. You're
why not?
wanting to break or start tension when the previous president was trying to break all the tension. I feel like that's not really good for the outcome. You know what I mean?
hmm No, it's just I get that he's our president now, and the vice president. That's one thing. We was actually talking about that at work today about Kamala Harris. That she sounds like a 5-year old when she gets up in front of everybody and speaks. And then so it's we're kind of getting hit from both ends. We got one dude that's senile, and one that still has the mindset of a child. Uh,
Hmm.
Now I'm not saying that everything that Trump did was right. Not everything that he said was right, should I say? But I mean, I don't see how people saw Biden to be a better option.
If anything's scripted, it's definitely the government.
Oh well, no doubt. I mean, when Biden was put into office, um, he was put in there as a face. That dude's a
Exactly.
puppet.
That's any president for real.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why they didn't like Trump so much. That's the reason why they tried to do
He was
everything they could
breaking
to
away
get
too
him out of
much.
office, is because he would not be controlled
Right.
by everybody else. He will go out there, he will say what he wants, he will do what he wants, and they just
And I didn't even like Trump.
yeah. Well, a lot of people didn't like Trump, but now a lot of people are also wishing Trump was the one that was still in office.
Right.
Hmm.
So it's
Not like in this case, so we didn't. Pretty much, we didn't have the best of options.
yeah. I mean, you got to think the last 4 years, 8 years, it was Hillary or Trump and Biden. It went Trump. Now I preferred Trump, me personally. I did not agree with everything it was that he said, but I definitely preferred him. When it came to the whole Biden thing, I still preferred Trump over Biden. Biden's the one that won. A lot of people that I know that voted for Biden that hated Trump wish Trump would have won. It's so many things are screwed up nowadays that were a lot better when he was in office, and even to this day, they still try to do everything they can to make sure this man can't run again in the next election.
Right.
Because he's the type of person that when he gets in there, he's going to run it how he wants to run it, and he's not going to let people tell him.
He is running again, right?
Yes, I do believe he's
That's
running
what I
again
thought.
in the next election. As far as I know, he is. He said
thought
that he
he
was
did.
going to.
Like I thought the impeachment said he couldn't run again.
No. Actually,
No,
if you
he-
really want to get technical, when they failed that impeachment that they did on him, actually made him eligible to run twice again because it negates the term that he was in.
Wait, so what was all the thing about the FBI searching his house and stuff?
They're trying to do everything they can to have him to where he cannot run for office. That's why they're still doing the stuff that they're doing to him now.
I don't feel like people don't understand how much the government controls the world.
So
Like we have such a small grasp about what the government can do.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
I'm pretty sure like Russia's waiting to see if Trump wins, and if he doesn't, then it's like bye bye.
Well, that was the thing. Before Trump got into office, everybody was worried about Kim Jong Un and all that stuff, and they were worried about Putin and what he might do, and so on and so forth. Trump comes into office. He makes a treaty with Kim
Yeah.
Jong Un. He makes a relationship with Putin. He starts rebuilding the relationship with China. So he comes in here and he does all these things, and then he leaves out of office because they vote Biden back in because they didn't like Trump because he was going and doing all of these things, and it was not benefiting the rest of the people in the government who were just in it to make money. This dude literally said, "I don't need y'all money. I want to run this country the way that it needs to be ran, or the way that he thought it needed to be ran." And they didn't like that because then at that point in time, they knew no matter how much money they offered him to do whatever it is they wanted him to do, he wasn't going to take it. I mean, the dude could probably buy out the government. I mean,
Yeah.
this,
You don't think
but
so,
no,
Baker?
No,
You don't think
he
so?
doesn't. He doesn't have enough money.
I don't know. All he's got to do is go to China and be like, "Hey, I'll give you a part of what they owe. You just tell them to get the fuck." But no. Back to the balloon. I want to get back to that because we've gotten like way stretched out there now. Back to the balloon.
Yeah, I don't know who started this, but y'all fucked up.
Years ago. I mean, hey, it's fun. I mean, it's part of it. It's a podcast. We're here to talk. Years ago, China said that if they wanted to take over the U.S., they did not even have to do it with military force. So this balloon thing might be their way of saying, "Hey, this is the non-military force that we was talking about." You get what I'm saying?
Somewhat. So sending a balloon.
No, it's not the sending the balloon. It's the collecting the data and information that they would need.
Oh, so you're
Well,
saying it's the
it's-
infiltrating and collecting data. What they could take over our country?
No, it's the simple fact that if we were to go to war with them, it'd be a cyber warfare.
Yeah, which they are
Like the one
100
Call of
times
Duty
more
game?
technologically advanced than we are in that category.
So it'd
Well,
literally be the next like a new Call of Duty for our next generation of like, or the next decade generation.
Yeah,
guys,
it'd be like real life Call of Duty.
You're coming out 2027.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, China versus America.
It'd be cyber warfare.
Call of Duty Cyber Warfare.
Yeah. And
That
you
kind of got a ring to it.
got a bunch of high gadget. I'm gonna chill out because I'm gonna put a patent on that. No,
You hack into the human body.
yeah.
This would be like
Kinda
the
like
movie
start
Gamer all
controlling
over, all
It's
over
kind
again.
of like Watch Dogs, but like you can like
Control the
hack
enemy.
things around the environment or like.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be like the movie Gamer all over again.
Yeah.
But no, it's, I don't know. It's hard to explain. There's so many theories that could be thrown out there that could explain it. There's so many of them that I've heard so far that are just so out there that some of these theories I don't know how people come up with them.
Hmm.
I
I
mean,
mean, there's some theories that could be justified, and there's some that are just way out there, like way, way out there,
yeah,
like outer field.
but hey, who knows? When it comes to stuff like that, there's no telling. I mean, who knows? Maybe come to find out, it really was a weather experiment. I mean, do I believe
Did all
that?
the
No,
I believe
but
it's a possibility.
I mean, it is definitely a feasible possibility. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, it's definitely something that it
anything's
could be.
possible, but like
I mean, hell, it could be some kid's remote control,
Science experiment.
yeah, science experiment gone wrong. I mean, and China's like, well, this is going, international, so we'll just go ahead and take the blame for it, and so on and so forth.
What I find suspicious is that the whole time we were trying to get a hold of them about it, they wouldn't answer. But the second we shoot it down, they're like, "Oh, hey, that was ours, and we want it back."
Well, yeah, but I don't know.
Mhm.
We'll just see how everything plays out and where everything goes from here. I mean,
But
we
what
could,
else can we do, you know?
yeah, we could sit here and throw out conspiracies all we want.
why I don't get involved in all of that because it's like, how does any of that affect my daily life when it comes to like voting and who the president is? Like, I don't care
I
because
mean,
I'm
it
still gonna
it
do.
would. I mean, it does affect your
It would
daily life, whether you know it
it
or
would
not.
eventually, yeah, it would eventually affect you.
Yeah.
A
No,
fact.
It
because I
does
still
affect
do
you,
what
but
I
I just
do
want to
what I
bring
do.
up: it doesn't matter who's in office,
Yeah, I mean that none of that means anything to me. I'm still gonna do what I was gonna do regardless of who's in the office.
and they're going to do exactly what they want to be done.
Yeah. The government
So
in
it's
a
like
whole
that.
is one giant corrupt system.
Exactly. I mean, you can tell that by it be calling us. We're calling ourselves a democracy. We weren't meant to be a democracy. In the Constitution, we are described as a republic
Hmm.
for the people by the people, not
But it's not for the people by the people anymore. It's for whoever's in office's pockets by their pockets.
exactly.
I mean, that's why it turned into a democracy.
And then pretty soon we're going to have an oligarchy.
I mean, I like Olive Garden just as much as the next person, but I don't know what that has to do with our government. I mean,
An oligarchy is a government run by the rich.
well, that's basically what it is now.
Yeah, but we're still calling it a democracy.
Yeah, that's because nobody wants to admit that it's not ran by the rich.
Right.
It's no. Let me rephrase that. Okay, so maybe it's not that because it's only ran by the rich that all fall in line with
The agenda.
each
The
other.
richer and the richest.
Exactly.
The rich people that don't fall in line, like Trump or whoever else, is the ones that kind of get kicked out. So it's not ran by all of the rich. It's making its way that way though.
Right.
That's why Kanye was for Trump.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Kanye's got his own problems going on.
Kanye is a problem. Sorry.
I'm
You're
not
not wrong.
disagreeing. I mean,
I can't say anything nice. Don't say anything at all.
Well, this is a podcast. Say what you want.
yeah, just say what's on your mind. Gotta say it, boy. Be a man.
Well, I'm not,
Suck it up.
He dissed Taylor Swift. He'll never live that down.
Yeah, I'd look. Nobody
was
messes
watching
with
that the other
Taylor
day.
Swift.
He did.
Yeah, well, he can get out of here.
I
He's
bet he
him,
won't do
though.
it again.
That thing I sent you, the Taylor Swift meme that I sent you. Yeah, I'll send it just to remind you.
No, Ferno, you got anything else that you needed to add on to
No, I feel like
the
we've
end of that?
covered multiple sides of the
Yeah, I feel like we've covered that plus a whole lot more.
Right.
Uh, I don't know. It's just
It's like
talking about
fighting the
things
war.
like that. Just talking about things like that. I mean, you can run down a rabbit hole if you don't catch yourself. If you don't grab a branch on the way down, you're gonna hit the end of that rabbit hole, and next thing you know,
Say a
it's
nah before you jump down the rope.
Yeah.
At least we're not late for a very important date.
All right, now you
Baker,
got me
where's your
confused on that one. Who's on a date?
We're rhyming. We're rhyming. Baker, rhyme. Rhyme with date.
Alice in Wonderland.
Oh.
The,
Oh,
the
okay.
White Rabbit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Look, I forgot there. Okay, look. Calm down.
I'm a day. What are you talking about?
We're all just gonna sit
Your
down,
mic.
have a glass of tea. We'll be good.
Mine be water. I don't really like tea.
Um. Well, so we got the conspiracy out of the way. I mean,
One of the
well, I
biggest.
say that. I mean, because now we could have another conspiracy because I'm a little bit curious about this one, and Beaker's the
Yeah.
one with the information on it. So, Beaker, would you like to talk about a derailed train and what it was carrying?
So yeah, in Ohio, train derailed. It caused about 5,000 people to evacuate after concerns of explosion and a toxic gas being released. Um, about 20 of those carts were carrying. There was about 141 carts. About 20 of those carts were carrying chemical, uh, or hazardous materials. 10 of the, all right, yeah, no, 20 of them were carrying hazardous materials, and 5 of them being the chemical called vinyl chloride. Um, Same chemical used in World War One as a pretty much a toxic gas.
Of course, it was Ohio.
Do we know where they were headed en route to? Like, were they being destroyed or to a lab to be studied or what?
I didn't say, it just was that the train derailed right in about the same area that happened on the border of like Philadelphia, where like or close to Philadelphia, where or Pennsylvania, my bad. And no wait, let's see. It was no, it occurred actually a decade prior to Pennsylvania border. The same thing happened. An explosion with the same chemicals. The chemicals used, I mean, for plastic and adhesives, like so the form. So when the train toppled over like a decade prior, pretty much the same things that were in the train prior were in the same thing as this one,
And was it
causing.
the same causes derailing?
This one was a brake, or was a axle failed. So like one of the rail carts axle failed, causing all of the other ones to be thrown off.
It's like a giant domino effect.
hmm And so out of the 141 carts, uh, there was like 20 of them that, or 50 of them, and 20 of them containing hazardous materials. Um, which 5 of them being that gas. Um, that being the case, they had to evacuate about 5,000 people in a 2-mile radius, or they risked, health issues or even death. Um,
Do we have
Vinyl,
the
what's up? No,
Do we
go
have
ahead.
the
What?
number of fatalities that happened?
It's recent. Everybody was evacuated. There was nothing so
Everyone in the
far. No
state.
health. Yeah, no health issues. Nothing so far have been reported yet.
That's
So
good.
this was kind of within the past 2-3 days. Um,
Interesting point brought up in chat. Tax evasion. Do you think it could have been that?
Well, let me ask you this: didn't you say this chemical was used for like plastic and stuff like that?
An adhesive,
no,
yeah.
it was there was plastic. There was plastics in it, chemical. Yeah, a chemical used to make plastic and adhesives. They were leaked into the environment. Rivers, things like that. So like,
But it's not the same chemical then.
yes,
Not the one that they were worried about that they evacuated people for.
no, it is, but it was just like this one didn't explode, or like they were, so like right now they're burning off, like as it leaks, they're slowly making they're causing it to leak the gas, and they're trying to burn it off, and they evacuate it because there's a small chance of an explosion happening with them burning off that gas.
Okay.
So people are still questioning when they can return home. Um, there has not been anything said as far as when they would have everything contained and everybody can return home. Um, Vinyl chloride has a sweet odor. Center Disease Control and Prevention reported a low level cause of dizziness and sleepiness as one of the effects. At higher levels, can cause people to pass out and eventually die.
Mhm.
Um, Longer exposure to the chemical, my experience by people, it all depends if like they work with it on a daily or not. But all the people there were in the middle of the night were told to evacuate. Um, but yeah, I mean, it kind of happened in the same area as it did a decade prior.
Was
Um,
it someone? Was it the same company?
no,
It was two
Different
different
companies.
companies.
yeah,
Same chemical, two different companies. All right.
Same
yeah,
train track though.
it, yeah. I mean, well,
Oh,
yeah, they got to run the same.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
all,
most
all
train
of them
tracks
run on
do.
the same train tracks.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
So,
no individual rail for individual companies. But
Right.
I mean, that kind of answers one of my questions because one of my things is what are they doing with this material? But it is being how it is used in plastics and stuff like that. I can see why it was being transported.
Right.
yep.
But I can see also at the same time because at first I was just thinking that it was a regular chemical that ain't had no other use.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm
but
sorry.
that's a chemical that was used in World War I as you know, as a
So back
toxic
in World
gas.
War One, we were super gluing people's lungs together. Eh?
Huh?
Pretty much.
It's an adhesive used in adhesive.
No, the chemical itself is
I see that pun just went over your head.
no, we weren't gluing it. No, promise. Yeah, here's a drink. Takes a shot. Just you know,
Yeah,
but
throat closes up.
posting out. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. But no, I mean it's just crazy. Like a gas chamber of it, and that's pretty much what the town's under is a cloud of the same thing that they were using as a toxic warfare weapon. Like so, but
Are
yeah,
they? Or is anybody going to be paying for damages? Do we know?
is what?
Is anybody going to be paying for damages? Do we know?
Like, is there any
Uh,
reparations?
Mhm.
nothing has been said. Like I said, it's pretty recent. So I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be stuff coming out more on it.
Right.
Um, Somebody's gonna have to take responsibility of it. I mean, obviously, shit happens.
Well,
I
if
mean,
it was an axle, I would say something about maybe a maintenance person.
yeah, but I mean, on a cart of 141,
Yeah, they
right?
Yeah.
got so many maintenance people that touch those.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard. You can't expect. It's a small chance, but it does happen. I mean, sometimes it just doesn't happen to this magnitude.
Right.
Um, but um, I'm sure somebody's gonna have to be responsible for it. I think it sucks for the people that are in that small town of it, because I mean, a 2 mile radius doesn't seem like a lot, but to evacuate about 5,000 people in that 2 mile radius, kind of.
Well,
I mean,
Well, if I
it
was gonna
just
say for that many people in a 2 mile radius, that's a
it's not like 2 mile. It's the cloud itself that would have killed people in that. Like, so the map shows like where the gas, which way it'd be blowing, and which way it fell. Which way to stay away from. Uh, the outer circle being like the cloud's direction and where you're kind of not safe, and then like the inner circle showing that was the 2 mile radius of if you're in this area, you're going to more than likely die. So to
well,
get out, but after the 2 mile radius, they felt people were okay. It's just that 2 mile radius is being focused on right now to contain
that
because
sounds like a plot to a movie I've seen a long time ago.
oh yeah,
Yeah, like a
probably.
'90s action flick. I couldn't tell you what movie it was, but
Probably
yeah,
seen that quite a few times.
right.
I don't know. I mean, but
I'm sure it
Yeah, I mean,
probably happens a lot more often than what you think, just maybe not on as big of a scale.
that's what I was
Right.
saying. Like,
I
it's
guess
not
we
up
were just
that many.
unlucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it may happen in the middle of nowhere with the town and nobody cares because it's not affecting anybody or anything.
Yeah, but
Right.
like a
Uh,
town of 100 people, and it doesn't make worldwide news. I mean, that's something you see printed on the
Now, if
front
that town
page
of
of the.
100 people die because of it, then that would make the
Uh,
news. But
but no, it's. I don't know. There's a lot of things that can, I guess you could say, go wrong on a railroad track that there's no telling
Right.
what exactly happened.
yeah,
I mean,
I
they
mean,
say that a failure of an axle, but I mean, the hell, the axle could have been perfectly fine and just decided it wanted to go out. There could have been a crack in it that nobody's seen.
like I said, a lot of people test that. Maybe it's sabotage, but who knows? I mean, it's just
It's
I think it happening where it did because, like I said, it happened before, like a decade before prior. So it's another reason to bring it to the news. I mean, it
Right.
happening in the same spot within a short distance of where it happened prior. Um, I mean, it's kind of crazy.
yeah, within a
Is it something
decade
within that?
span.
Yeah, is it something within that railroad track that causes the problem, or you know?
See, but that's also hard to say because you know, did it happen the same way? Was it a failed axle that caused the train to derail the last time, or was it something else? So I mean, it's
Yeah,
that would be something that would have to be looked into.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, but if it happens again in another 10 years, then we know something's up.
Oh yeah, then we know we know somebody's doing something that they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, anything else we have to add on to that?
Um, Not really. It was just a small, you know, uh, it just recently happened, so there's not too much out on it. Um, like I said, there probably will be repercussions, and I probably may later on bring that up. But as of now, I mean, they're just trying to contain it and keep it from, you know, I don't know if there's going to be a maybe a death toll of people that just decided they didn't want to leave. They thought they'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
They may be
Wouldn't
that
surprise
person
me.
that thinks they're invincible because they work with it daily. I don't know.
But they got some
They,
stubborn people out there, and hell, I couldn't say
yeah,
that I wouldn't be one of them.
my grandpa's from so
My
I
papa's
don't.
one of them too. Um, but no, I mean, if there is any more like major information that pops up, I mean, I definitely.
Yeah, no,
For
I
sure.
do want to recover any kind of who's going to be held responsible, any kind of you know fatalities or any kind of people having health issues to it. I mean, um, I believe it's just gonna with time. I'm sure people will be affected by it that thought they were safe or okay from it, and
I'd
they
like to
weren't.
see improvements to prevent it happening in the future.
What the train?
Yeah, in
The
general.
railroad. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Being improvements to the rail or the maintenance rituals.
yeah.
Before we
So
switch topics, I do want to ask: do y'all think it was a sabotage or a coincidence?
I think it was a coincidence. As of right
yeah,
now, there's no true reason to believe that it would be something.
yeah. No, because I mean, 10 years is a big get. Well, I mean, unless they're like some fine like they have like a freaking contract going on with it or some shit. Like,
Right.
every 10 years they have to like sabotage their own thing to kind of keep their own, and then they gets them out of something. But
I
Well,
other than
see the
that,
possibility of it being
yeah. But
sabotage or something like
if
that,
that's what
but
I
I
said.
don't
If
think
it
it was.
happens in the next 10 years, then something
Yeah.
going
Yeah,
on.
look
But
at
yeah, well,
they
that's what
should
I was fixing to
definitely
say. 10
right
years from
now.
now, if it happens again, we'll
Some of
know
us
there's
won't be
some shady
around.
shit going
That's
around.
what I'm saying. Right now, look at that railroad, because I mean, for it to happen within that short period of a track, I think they should really look at that track then.
Right.
Maybe they should just take a look at the amount, because like you said, 140 cars and 3
141 cars.
locomotives. That is a lot. Maybe they need to start looking into cutting some of that down some.
3 locomotives.
Yeah, as I said, 140
Uh,
cars and 3 locomotives.
I thought you said 30. I was like, dang.
Oh no! Oh hell no!
Like,
uh,
dang, he had.
but that's a
No,
lot. That is a lot to be moving at one time. I mean, it made like I said, maybe they need to look into cutting that down some. Maybe that might help prevent, further situations like this, and different things like that. I mean, a lot of cars you see, hell, got a quarter of that. I mean,
yeah.
and 2 locomotives, one on the front, one on the back.
Yeah, so I had
So
3, so it obviously had a middle part that had to.
yeah, 140 cars. That's what, every 50, almost
So many
about every
cars.
45 cars they had to have a locomotive for. Yeah,
If
45
you would,
plus 45, that's 90, plus another 45, that's 145, so about 45
yeah,
cars.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
So,
my math was off. I just said 145. That's 135 cars. So that's about 45 cars every locomotive.
47.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean that's just crazy to think that in the middle of the night you're getting woken up to, you know, hey, you got to evacuate or you might die, or you will die. You know, there were
Hmm.
people that were reporting it to the news. They were saying that it was kind of to be woken up and being told that if they don't leave, they're gonna die.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
got to be a shock to the system. That wake you up real quick.
Right.
so
Start my day, everything like that.
You're going to go
Start my
from being
every day like
groggy.
that.
Yeah, you're going to go from being groggy as shit to wide awake because, somebody just told you if you don't get out of here, you're going to die.
it's not even somebody. It was the freaking. They had the tent like sheriffs and cops and everybody going down all the streets. Just y'all gotta go.
Wow.
Y'all gotta get out of here on their little megaphone thing. Yeah.
Hmm.
I would
So,
suck to be a heavy sleeper.
Yeah,
imagine.
there's one guy that's still in his
He-
bedroom right now sleeping.
He's not. No, he
Cause they
ain't
done they
sleeping
done
no
shut
more.
up they done shut all the
He's
power off
sleeping
so his
up.
alarm didn't go off.
Damn,
He
Baker.
ain't sleeping no more. He's still in there.
Yeah, he's taking a forever nap.
Yeah. You better hope he was having a good dream.
No,
Oh my god. That's
I think there's different things that they could do to maybe help prevent something like that from happening again.
yeah.
And cutting down the 140 cars, 3 locomotives things would probably definitely help.
Yeah, maybe at
Or,
least just 2.
Yeah.
or have them like fly. You know. Like making railroads or not railroads, trains fly.
Just
Like
put a
that one.
ramp at the end of the railroad track, it'll fly.
Put little wings on it.
Every other cart has like wings.
Uh,
The front pull has a propeller.
Yeah, I'm just saying. If I leave my house and I see a train flying across, I think derailed ones are bad. Imagine if the wings stop working.
What are the wings doing?
Well, I mean, if it's
Flapping.
flying, I
Wings
mean,
just kind of glide.
but that's what I'm saying. If the train's gonna fly, imagine if the wings don't want to work no more.
No, it's almost
Imagine
the
how much
propeller
damage
work,
it's gonna do then.
obviously. That would have to be a big ass propeller to. He would just like
they get
dangle the train, just
the dragging on the ground.
the train's just dangling in the air, like.
Oh,
Uh,
A little dingleberry.
Lord have mercy.
yeah, that's all I got for that. So,
Well,
uh,
that's our bit of recent new news with those 2 stories. Now, Switch, you got something that's
Yeah, it's about
older.
21 years old, so I don't know if Ferno's ever heard about it.
Oh, man, Ferno, this story's older than you.
Everything is just attacking me today.
Right?
that's crazy.
Oh, man.
We've had some pretty hairy, pretty deep conversations today, so I'd like to end it off with something a little bit lighter, Have y'all ever heard of a Roche point?
Nah.
No,
No.
I couldn't even
What did you
probably
call
say
me?
Yeah,
What'd you
I
say
think I
about my
can say
mama?
that.
That's a nice lady.
All right. So you know about Saturn and its rings, right?
Hmm.
Only a little bit.
I know they
Well,
Its
circle.
wings?
I know they circle Saturn.
right. Uh, how a planet makes its rings is with its Roche point. So at a certain distance away, a planet has a moon. Say like in Saturn's, for instance, Saturn has a moon. We'll call it Bob for arbitrary reasons. And it reached this point close enough called the Roche point, which crushed the moon over several years, possibly millions of years. And it flattened it and separated it, and that's what forms planetary rings. Well, in 2002, astronomer, astronomers have discovered a new ring system around a newly discovered dwarf planet. And I can't pronounce the name of this planet to save my life, but I'll try. Let's see. Koor, I think. Uh, it's spelled Quaoar.
Yeah,
New
I'm
York.
not
Yeah.
even gonna attempt to pronounce that. But I do have one question.
Alright.
How short does a planet have to be considered a dwarf planet?
That's a good question. Shorter than Pluto.
Oh, okay. How short is Pluto?
About 5'7".
Oh, okay.
I've
So
seven.
5'6"
Taller
and you're
than
considered a
Pluto?
dwarf? Oh my god.
Damn.
No, I don't know.
I'm glad I'm 5'9".
I
Well,
just
this.
bear. I'm glad I'm 5'7". No.
Barely fat.
God, if that's the case, what would they? That just be normal sized, man.
You're Jupiter.
Right? Well, Koar is half the size of Pluto,
What did you
and
call
it
me?
and it orbits the sun beyond Neptune.
It orbits the sun beyond Neptune.
Yeah, well, I
So it's
couldn't tell you.
It would, if it would be considered a regular planet, it would be the second closest to the sun, or behind Neptune. So it'd be the third
It,
closest, right?
it depends on the placement of its orbit.
Oh, so it orbits around Neptune then.
No, it orbits around the sun, and let's see. I lost my. Where was I reading?
It rotates
On the
around the
page.
sun and
Right. Beyond. I'm sorry, not and, but the sun. It orbits around the sun beyond Neptune. But I don't know what Neptune is, like the third, fourth, fifth, eighth. Couldn't tell you.
It's in the solar system.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's blue.
It is. So researchers say it orbits much further out than is typical for other ring systems. We're talking about the rings now, calling into question current theories of how ring systems are formed. So that, what I just explained to you with the Roche point. So now we're kind of curious if that's the only way, or if we're totally wrong. The discovery was made by an international team of astronomers using HyperCam, that's H-I, not H-Y, an extremely sensitive high-speed camera developed by scientists at the University of Sheffield. Because the rings are too faint to see directly in an image, the discovery was made by observing an occultation when the light from a background star was blocked by Quaoar as it orbits the sun. So in other words, they were
If you want,
looking
just
at
call
the.
it Q.
There you go, cute. I like that.
Or the short
So in other,
planet.
right. So
For short.
they were
Shouty.
observing it, and as it passed the sun, they saw like a shadow, and then the shadow for Q, and another shadow for the rings. The event lasted less than a minute. It was unexpected. Ooh, I just read two different parts. Two different
So did they
sentences.
make sure that it wasn't like a smudge on the lens or something?
I would hope so.
I mean,
They got to retract their statement because they wiped the lens.
well, we looked at that
Yeah.
door planet from 21 years ago. Come to find out
mean-
it didn't have any rings.
Have y'all
Yeah.
not seen the Rasengan that's been going around that happened that was spotted? And they're trying to say that it was like SpaceX doing it.
The what? The rescind what?
A Rasengan. It's from Naruto.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
why I
get,
don't.
look.
You can't be
First
quoting
off,
Naruto
Peter.
to me and expect me to know what you're talking about.
First off, if SpaceX has mastered that technique, we in trouble. Okay? The motherfuckers got too much power as it is. Rasengan, what the hell's wrong with you?
Ring systems are relatively rare in the solar system, and as well as those around Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, only two minor planets possess rings. Oh, good lord. Charico
Yeah, that one.
and Haumea?
Say those 5 times fast.
Right?
Say them 1 time slow.
All of the previously known ring systems are able to survive because they orbit close to their parent body. According to the astronomers, what makes the ring systems around Q remarkable is that it lies at a distance of over 7 planetary radii, twice as far out as what was previously thought to be the maximum limit, which is the outer limits of where the rings systems were thought to be able to survive, so outside of the Roche point, in other words. And that's why this discovery is forcing us to rethink the theories of ring formation.
Hmm.
I just thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, you got me on this one because I was a baby whenever they found this shit.
I kind of was too.
I mean, really, we all were, except for Switch.
I don't even exist.
I mean,
Yeah.
You weren't even dropping your death nuts.
I was 12.
Yeah, I was probably about that makes me about 7. What are we? 4 years?
I'm 32.
Okay, so 5 years. So yeah, I was probably about 7. I was probably about 8,
How
7
old
or
are you?
8.
Bigger, 27, right?
Uh-huh.
You'd have been 6. It was
So
found 21 years ago. 27 minus 21 is 6.
yeah. I didn't.
I was
know
2.
Pevno wasn't even a glimmer in his father's eye.
His dad probably didn't even have the hair on his nut that Ferno would turn into being. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. But it's a pretty interesting piece of information.
Man, we say that, and we're still sitting here. I'm saying that I was 2, and Bigger was 6. You was 12. And then we say Ferno wasn't born. Wasn't even close to being born. That makes me feel old. So I can imagine what it does to you two.
How do you think I feel?
Young,
Right?
energized,
Got your whole life ahead of you.
healthy.
I feel like I was born in a whole different world than you.
Look, I'm
You
23.
were.
I'm 23 going on 68. I don't want to hear that.
I was always told I had an old soul.
You know, me too.
I just got an old body.
Well, I got that too. Yeah, I always said that I felt like I should have been born like 30 years before I was actually born because my body creaks.
That's my fingers as straight as they go out.
Ouch.
Wait, really?
That's straight. That's my hands.
You have such short hands.
You got arthritis.
I've crushed them. Like you can see where I don't have like my pinky and my. They've been
Yeah,
shattered
but
and pushed
you
back.
know what those hands would be good
Ouch.
for gripping.
So
Uh,
my
What?
the Xbox
pinky's
controller. The Xbox controller.
my pinky's all the way over here. Like
Wow.
You know what bigger could
so.
grip with those hands?
I don't even know.
Anything circular. Y'all got
So
dirty minds.
we like I'm bro, to go to the doctors and they tell you like no nothing's wrong and it's like what do you mean? I feel it every day. What do you mean
My hands
nothing's
are
wrong?
not working.
Yeah, like what do you mean?
I go to the doctors and they go, everything's wrong.
Yeah, like they tell me like and I'm like I know things are wrong and they're like no nothing's wrong. What do
I
you mean
go to
tell me?
look. I go to the
You'll brush it off
doctors,
tomorrow.
and when they grab my chart, or they look up my chart, or they're doing whatever test it is they run, the doctors come back with like a twinkle in their eye, and I'm like, why? Well, because you
They're gonna
got
make
this,
money
this,
off of
this,
you.
this, 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 right, and everything else is wrong.
I
It's
don't go
always
to the
like,
doctor because they will definitely tell me what's wrong with me.
Yeah, no, I just like I used to, you know, have a lot of anger as a kid. So it led to fights and punching things.
See,
So
I've never had a lot of anger.
you had football.
I did have football. I did. That I did have.
I have
That was
sweet.
stripped away from me in 6th grade, so
Oh, I only had football for 2 whole years.
I never got a chance at all.
I only had it for 1 year.
Well, I say 2 years. I played TPR 1 year, and then I played my freshman year in high school until I got hurt, and I didn't play again.
Yeah, I got hurt before I got to even try. So the idea of playing football is great, and I think I would have been more into it, but never got to play. And just the thought of not being able to play as a kid really kept me from really wanting to get to get too into it, like or care for it as much, because it was like, damn, that was taken away from me. So yeah, and I would have been a nice running back.
Yeah, you got a nice back. I'd run for it. um,
I'd do a
yeah,
couple
boy.
lines off your back.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
That's what I'm talking about, baby. So as far as the Shouty planet, is that everything?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Well, in that case, Beaker, do you have anything to add to it?
I do not.
Fevno, do you have anything to add to it?
I have nothing. TTV_Travis 103199.
No, thank you for using my full government name. Um, well, on that note, of course, we're gonna end out with the quote. Two of them, actually. Ferno, would you like to give your quote, buddy?
I would love to.
Go ahead. It's all yours.
Really?
Yeah, go. Before I change my mind.
He's just saying really because he's got to find it.
He's-
He's scrounging around right now.
Do you not remember what your quote was?
I do, and I haven't. I mean, I know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, guys, so if you believe it will work out, you will see opportunities. And you believe it will fail, you will see obstacles.
You know.
So you have to pick the way you see out your outcome. Thank you.
Okay, so to better explain what it is that he's saying is no matter whatever mindset you have when you go into something, is what your outcome is going to be. So if you have the mindset going in that, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to succeed at this, we're going to succeed. But if you have the mindset that you're going to go in that this is going to be hard and I don't know if I can do it, the whole time that you're trying to complete whatever goal it is that you're trying to complete, it's just going to feel more and more like you're being dragged back down. So, like us, for example, we came into this doing this podcast that, we're going to succeed. We're going to set out to do the best that we could do, put out the best content that we could put out. And, so far, I say we're doing a pretty damn good job. Do y'all agree?
I
Absolutely.
like it. I enjoy
Yup.
it.
I like
Okay.
your quote, Fabno. It's pretty good.
I mean,
Thank you.
Fevno, that was a good quote. Like I said, we are going to get to. So I'm going to go ahead and, give y'all mine as well. And mine is actually a quote by Robert Frost. And it says, in 3 words, I can sum up everything that I know about life. It will go on, or it will
It goes on.
continue on. It goes
It
on.
goes on.
Yeah, something like that. We'll get it right. See,
It goes on.
it
3
goes on.
words. It
I
goes
can't
on.
look. I can't count or spell or read. So we're here. It goes on, meaning no matter. And I guess this kind of plays back into the other one. No matter what obstacles or what situations you face in life, there's always going to be something beyond that point. Life will continue on until it doesn't. No
Nah,
matter what,
Exactly.
when your time to come, that's when life will end for you. But even then, it still continues on for somebody else. It
Right.
continues on for the next person. So no matter what, no matter who may be taken out of this world or who may be brought into it, life will always continue on. So just keep that in mind, in the days coming forward. But we're gonna call it right there. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. Switch.
Pasta lasagna, don't get in the onion.
Bigger.
Adios, mi amigos.
Fevno.
later. Also, join the Discord. Dad, stay hydrated.
Did you put it in the chat?
Did I? No.
Okay, then. Well, then they can't join.